I'm Kevin, and I'm joined by my co-host with Harrison Bader like hair.
Yeah, it's a weird ordeal. Katie is just proving to be childish.
Which is why I don't feel I would give $5 million to Jack Campbell.
I don't know. Baseball is one of those sports where anyone who makes the playoffs really can be a contender.
I think the Padres definitely do it.
I don't think Donovan Mitchell gets traded.
Kyrie Irving does have the track record of not being a great locker room fit, or even good locker room fit.
Bader got some luscious locks. I gotta say it.
This is Zach Bigley, the broadcaster for the Frisco Rough Riders, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin. You guys better subscribe.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our UFL Opinions of the Week. I am Kevin. I'm joined by the man that is in the similar spot to me, as both our teams were not taken, or are no longer a team in the USFL or XFL. And let's just get right into it. My condolences, Austin.
I can't believe it.
Can't believe it. It's a sad day. I really wish they would have kept all 16 teams. I think it would have made it more interesting. And if they're combining, I think they could have survived with 16. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think they could have survived. I understand it, though, because from something I read, it looks like Dwayne The Rock Johnson lost about $60 million with his partners in the XFL. So I'm curious what the USFL lost, or if they lost anything, because they were a year ahead.
Well, they're
the
also
XFL.
more successful when you look at like the watch numbers.
That's true. So maybe they're doing that, and they could add these teams in the future. But yeah, I was assuming that for the people not aware, the XFL and USFL are merging. They will be the conferences. And the 8 teams are in the USFL conference. It will be the Birmingham Stallions, Houston Roughnecks, Memphis Showboats, and Michigan Panthers. Then on the XFL, you have the Arlington Renegades, DC Defenders, San Antonio Brahmas, and the St. Louis Battlehawks. Sadly, the Seattle Dragon are no longer a team. That to me hurts.
Yeah, same with my favorite team, the New Orleans Breakers. It's really tough, and I am definitely sad for these teams, these fan bases, these cultures that they've created. And Kevin, I just want to go straight into it. Which conference do you think has an advantage? We won't make official predictions just yet, but which conference do you think has an advantage? I'll go first, and I'll just say I think the USFL has the better brand of football.
Yeah, I agree with the USFL as well. You got the Birmingham Stallions. It seems like they're starting to build tradition there. I believe they're in both the championships the past 2 years. And I'm curious what happens to the other players of the teams that were let go. But the XFL, I think, has some really good teams. Like, you got the Arlington Renegades and the St. Louis Battlehawks. Those were 2 teams that played well and could continue to play well. So I do like that it's USFL conference, XFL conference, so fans that were either can just follow that conference. And then we'll get to see who wins that type of conference in the championship game.
Yeah, it's gonna be confusing at first because didn't they have different rules?
Yes, that is correct.
So how is that going to work? Are they going to whoever the home team has those rules? Like if it's the XFL home team, they have those rules. The USFL is the home team, they use those rules. I don't really know how this is going to work. Also, the USFL had a like hub system, but didn't the XFL have actual home stadiums?
Yes, I agree.
I'm just kind of confused.
Yeah, I think they're still figuring it out, and this is relatively the new news of the XFL and the USFL merging, so they're gonna iron out some things, but that could be why some USFL teams were gotten rid of, so they could pool some of those resources to have a stadium.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm curious what they keep. I liked both leagues, even though I didn't watch much of them. But it seems like there's a basis here, and you and I talked about, like, can this work? It just seems like they kind of prematurely merged, so spring football can survive, and that because there is a market there, and they're trying to build it together instead of compete against each other.
Yeah, and I think the XFL made a smart decision. I don't know yet. We'll have to see how the USFL makes out of this, but I did think that the XFL was going to struggle because I did believe, I'm sure you agreed as well, only one of the two were probably going to survive long term.
Yes, and that's still a tough thing as well. Like, can it survive is a question. We've seen glimpses in the USFL and the XFL's tried, but yeah, I think it was a smart move by the XFL, and it really seems like The Rock is doing his best to market it. Like, he was on Fox Sports, and I think that's where he announced it of the UFL coming.
You're right.
Yeah. So, and to have a name like The Rock, I think is helpful. You also have Daryl Johnston, who is a part of Fox as a leader of it. So, from the USFL standpoint, so I think there are a lot of smart people dealing with this, but it's tough. And this makes it a little bit easier for spring football to happen.
You're right. It definitely makes it easier. We'll have to see how this works. There's a lot to be announced before I truly understand what all is going to happen, but I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I'm excited. Makes it easier for me to be able to watch the games. I didn't really watch much of it, but I was trying to alternate between XFL and USFL, and I just couldn't do it. So we'll have to see how that goes, but that's all I got. Any final thoughts?
Nope.
All right, let us know what you think. Are you a fan of the UFL? Do you miss some of your teams? Drop it. The Austin team was much better than mine. I didn't really get attached to the Pittsburgh Maulers, but still sad that they couldn't pull it out. But that's all we got. Thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.